Welcome, everybody, to Sports Mashup. This is episode number 66, June 1st, 2022. Yes, it is just I. Ethan couldn't be here today, so it might not be as long, it might not be as controversial. You never know. But we start in the NBA as per usual. The Warriors dominant in game 5 over the Mavs, clear out that series 4-1. Tatum and Brown helped carry the Celtics to the finals. Tatum, I believe, was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Um, Curry is favored to win his first Finals MVP, which surprised me that he hadn't gotten one yet. So the playoff picture, the Celtics close out the Heat in Game 7, 4-3. We talked about the Mavs Warriors. So now you have the NBA Finals, Warriors versus Celtics. Game 1, I believe, is tomorrow at Golden State. Embiid gets some surgery, likely okay for camp. Quinn Snyder's 8-year stint may be done in Utah, which is kind of, he's brought, in the last 8 years, he's taken a lot of teams to the postseason. He just can't get over that hump. A couple years ago, they were without Donovan Mitchell when he was hurt. That was probably one of their best runs they had at it, or teams to make a deep run. And now with the controversy, you don't know if Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell, either of them are going to be there next year, or one of them will be there next year. The Lakers hire Milwaukee assistant Darvin Ham as their new head coach. Kind of a weird hiring, in my opinion. We'll see. He's getting thrown into a lot in there. With LeBron and Westbrook and everybody, he's getting thrown into fire. And then we have the draft. The NBA draft is June 23rd. Most recent mock draft has the Orlando Magic taking Jamari Smith 1 overall out of Auburn. OKC taking Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga. The Rockets taking Paolo Banchero from Duke, which has them listed as a power forward / center. I think that's a little high for him. The Kings at 4 taking Jaden Ivey from Purdue. The Pistons at 5 taking Keegan Murray from Iowa. Pacers taking Dyson Daniels from the G League. Trailblazers taking Shaedon Sharp from Kentucky. The Pelicans taking Benedict Mathurin from Arizona. The Spurs taking Jalen Duren from Memphis. Wizards taking Johnny Davis from Wisconsin. The Knicks taking AJ Griffin, but there's talks about the Knicks possibly making a trade here for a point guard, possibly Malcolm Brogdon. But people also think that the Knicks might stick with Griffin, as he was the arguably the best shooter in the class, making 45% of his threes. And he also has a 7-point wingspan, or 7-foot wingspan, which will help him defensively in the league. 12, Ousmane Ding from the NZ Breakers. 13, Mark Williams from Duke gets to stay home from Durham. And this says that they're also, the Hornets have been seeking a legitimate rim protector, lob catching center to pair with LaMelo Ball, which I think they already have that in Mason Plumlee, but this is just a younger, definitely lengthier version. At 14, the Cavaliers taking Malaki Branham from Ohio State. Hornets again getting Ochai Agbaji from Kansas. I think that would be a good pickup, especially with to add depth behind Hayward and Oubre Jr., who sometimes cannot stay healthy. 16, Jeremy Sochan out of Baylor going to the Hawks. Ty Washington, 17, going to the Rockets. The Bulls at 18 taking Terry Eason out of LSU. 19, the Timberwolves taking Nikolai Jovic from Mega Mazart. The Spurs taking Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. The Nuggets taking Kennedy Chandler from Tennessee. The Grizzlies taking Jaden Hardy from the G League Ignite. The Nets, who don't have to stay with this pick. This is from the 76ers, but they can defer to the 2023 draft. But this would have them taking E.J. Liddell from Ohio State. 24, the Bucks taking Walker Kessler, the center from Auburn. Probably to start as a backup behind Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. 25, the Spurs taking Caleb Houston from Michigan. And 26, the Dallas Mavericks taking Trevor Keels from Duke, with Jalen Brunson being an unrestricted free agent. The Heat taking Dalen Terry from Arizona. 27, 28, the Warriors taking Christian Braun from Kansas. 29, the Grizzlies taking Marjan Beauchamp from the G League as well. The OKC Thunder taking Blake Wesley out of Notre Dame. And then the second round, Pacers taking Andrew Newhart from Gonzaga. The Magic taking Jake Lavaria from Wake Forest. Raptors taking Peyton Watson from UCLA. Thunder taking Kendall Brown from Baylor. Magic taking Bryce McGowens from Nebraska. Trailblazers taking Patrick Baldwin Jr. from Milwaukee. The Kings taking Wendell Moore Jr. from Duke. The Spurs taking Khalifa Diop from Gran Canaria. The Cavs taking Hugo Besson from the NZ Breakers. Timberwolves Ismail Kamagati from Paris. Pelicans taking Leonard Miller, Fort Erie International Academy. Knicks taking Christian Koloko from Arizona. Clippers taking Ryan Rollins from Toledo. The Hawks taking Justin Lewis from Marquette. Hornets Matt Christie from Michigan State. Pistons Jalen Williams from Arkansas. Grizzlies David Roddy from Colorado State. Timberwolves J.D. Davison from Alabama. Kings Josh Minott from Memphis. Timberwolves Gene Montero, Overtime Elite. Warriors Dominic Barlow from the Overtime Elite. Pelicans Michael Foster, G League Ignite. Celtics Gabriel Procida. Fortudo Bologna. The Wizards Trevion Williams from Purdue. Warriors Darion Sebron from NC State. Cavaliers Yannick Noza. Trailblazers Ron Harper Jr. from Rutgers. And the Pacers Matteo Spagnola from Cremona. Surprising in this, no Kofi Coburn from Illinois. Surprised he's not in the first two rounds. I don't know if he hired a agent or if he's able to come back still. Note 2, the Bulls and the Heat each lost a second-round draft pick after an NBA investigation revealed premature discussions into free agency of guards Lonzo Ball and Kyle Lowry. And then on to the NFL. You have the Saints' Mike Thomas to be ready for training camp. I figured he'd already be ready. Aaron Donald is quoted to say he's at peace with career if contract isn't reworked. So it could possibly be I won a Super Bowl ring and I'm out because we can't get a contract worked. Surprisingly, the Steelers defensive end Stephen Tuitt retiring after 8 seasons. Kyler Murray at OTAs after skipping last week. David Njoku, 4-year, $56.75 million deal with the Browns. Akeem Hicks headed to the Bucs from the Bears for 1 year, worth up to $10 million. Cardinals add backfield, getting ex-Chief Darrell Williams to pair with James Conner on a 1-year deal. This coming after the Cards re-signed James Conner to a 3-year, $21 million contract, and Chase Edmonds to the Dolphins. John Madden back on the Madden cover since 2000. So 23 years since he was last on the cover. Tonight you have the match, Brady and Rodgers versus Muhammad Allen. 12-hole exhibition at the Wynn Las Vegas on the Vegas Strip, which transitions us right into golf. Last weekend we had the Charles Schwab Challenge. The winner was Sam Burns. He won in a one-off playoff versus Scotty Scheffler. Won $1.5 million, shot 9 under. Scotty Scheffler kind of had this tournament in the bag, and then he shot 2 over in round 4, and Burns, I believe, shot 5 under. This weekend you have the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, defending champion Patrick Cantlay at Murfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. And then, what was it Ethan had wrote here? Player list for first LIV golf event and Saudi released London Golf Club next week during RBC Canadian Open. The stunner was Dustin Johnson. Other notable Sergio Garcia, Ian Poulter, Taylor Gooch, Kevin Na, and Lee Westwood. And then into the MLB. Mets put Scherzer on IL a couple weeks ago, plus option Dom Smith to AAA. Matt Carpenter signs with the Yankees and has 2 home runs in 13 at-bats. Kind of does what Matt Carpenter does. I'm guessing they kind of need a little bit of a utility man in New York. Cody Clemens, the son of Roger Clemens, made his debut last night for the Detroit Tigers. The White Sox star Tim Anderson out at least 3 weeks with a groin injury. Without Ethan here, I did not make a player of the week since he did not have his. NHL, you have Martin St. Louis near deal to remain the Habs head coach. Jets GM Kevin Sheveldoff expects Mark Scheifele to return next season. Trade unlikely. Playoff picture there. Tampa swept Florida 4-0. The Rangers came back from a 3-1 deficit in the series to win 4-3. They will play the Lightning. I believe that starts tonight. Yes. And then in the West, Colorado beat St. Louis 4-2. Edmonton beat Calgary 4-1. So you have Colorado versus Edmonton. Game 1 was last night. Colorado won. I believe the score was 8-6. So they're up 1-0 in that. And now on to the betting portion. In the NBA for tomorrow, I have the Celtics plus 3.5 over the Wizards. The Lightning minus 130 over the Rangers. And then for tomorrow's game, I have the Oilers plus 155 over the Avalanche. I think if they can keep scoring at a high capacity like they did last night, at least make for a decent series. In golf, to win, I have Victor Hovland plus 2,000, Cameron Smith plus 2,200, Sanjay M at plus 3,500. Top 5, Patrick Reed plus 1,200. Top 10, Billy Horschel plus 330. And my top 20 is Cameron Davis at plus 450. The match for tonight, Brady and Rodgers minus 190. Mahomes and Allen plus 160. I'm taking Brady and Rodgers at minus 190. And then the MLB for tomorrow, I have the Rays minus 125 over the Rangers, the Blue Jays minus 170 over the White Sox, Yankees minus 120 over the Angels, Orioles plus 105 over the Mariners, and the Brewers minus 120 over the Padres. Let's see. Last week I went 5-3, keeps me at 434 and 341. I was 1-0 in the NBA, 2-0 in hockey, 2-3 in baseball, and then I didn't get anybody in golf. I did have Scottie Scheffler to win. He finished second. Victor Hovland tied for 21st. Kevin Na tied for 7th. Max Homa tied for 23rd. And Colin Morikawa tied for 40th. And Tom Hogue was cut for round 2. So a little quick one for number 66. But we'll see you guys next week for 67. Deuces.